staff.
And then the staff.
Dato Ajit Singh Jaisi, Sardar Kuldeep Singh Kaushal.
On behalf of the Wadda Gurdwara Committee, Management Committee, and the Building Committee of the Khalsa Dharmik School and the Sangat of Penang, I have the singular privilege and honor of extending our sincere warm welcome and gratitude to YAB Lim Guan Eng, the Honorable Chief Minister of Penang, for his kind presence and consent to officially declare open this new majestic building housing inter alia the Khalsa Dharmik School, for short form KDS, on this historic 3rd day of August 2014. This eventful occasion will forever be enshrined on one of the walls of the KDU in the form of a commemorative plaque bearing the name, signature, and designation of YAB Lim Guan Eng, who I will term the Tiger from Malacca. The dream has thus become a reality. The fruition of this dream would not have been possible without the unqualified support of the state government of Penang, who undoubtedly have the interests of the Raya of Penang without regard to race, color, religion, or creed. We also wish to record our heartfelt thanks, gratitude to the generous donors in cash and or kind who made possible the erection of this building. May Waheguru Ji bestow His blessings on all these donors, and may they and their families live forever in the minds of the Sikh Sangha, in the embodiment of this new building. I don't have the time nor the inclination because of IAB's tight schedule. I wish I could name all the donors, but I will just name a few for the purposes of recording their gratitude in public. But nonetheless, the others who have contributed are not forgotten. Their names will be put up in this hall sometime in the course of next week or so, and they will also be remembered forever. Now this request for this land owned by the federal government will be channeled to the Malaysian Gurdwara Council, I think, who is the proper body to approach the federal government. So, since the office bearers of the Gurdwara of the Malaysian Gurdwara Council are present today, please note that a request will be submitted to you by the Management Committee and the trustees of the Gurdwara for the acquisition of this land and dedication to it with the Wadda Gurdwara. Those small measures, to the fearless efforts of what is generally known and popularly known as the Tiger of Jaludho, namely the late Y.B. Kirpal Singh Dio. Language carries with it all the history and culture of the region from where it evolved. It is thus necessary tool that enables one to identify and understand one's roots. Therefore, as I've said many times before, without thorough learning of one's language, there's no knowledge of one's culture and true identity. In this context, I'm reminded of what has been said by others, and I quote, "Understanding others makes possible a better knowledge of oneself. Understanding and valuing cultural diversity are the keys to countering racism. All individuals must feel free to explore the uniqueness of their culture and identity. But in our case, being a multilingual, multicultural nation, there must be an overriding commitment to the values of the principles enshrined in the Rukun Nagara and the Federal Constitution."
You want again to thank you, because without the ladies, where would we be? Now it gives me great pleasure to officiate the new Khalsa Dharmik school at the Wadda Gurdwara Sahib in Penang, the main and of course the major Sikh temple in the northern region. I am very pleased to witness the addition of the new annex, which has been long in gestation, but it is finally completed. I think this is a testimony of not only the unity as well as the cooperation of the Sikh community in Penang, but also the support from other communities in Penang, which has made this possible. In many respects, this is a celebration of diversity, a celebration of the inclusive society that we have in Penang. And we will do our utmost to defend, to protect and promote this diversity and inclusive society. Government not only talks about diversity, we celebrate the Georgetown Festival, which began on the 1st of August for a one-month extravaganza of performances not only locally but also international acts from all over the world. It's not only a celebration of that diversity, but also a recognition that Georgetown and the people of Penang is a model of what people from different backgrounds, different faiths, different cultures can work together in harmony if they respect each other. And the fact that despite the Sikh community, a small community, the fact that you can keep your schools going, I think this is something that we should be proud of. Commendable. And I'm sure what the President has said just now, a continuation of not only your culture, your roots, but also your very existence. I think we want to celebrate that today. The first Punjabi school, situated in Malacca Street, was established in 1937. Heritage in that sense. 1957 transferred to Wadda Gurdwara Sahib here at the temple. And of course, yes, taught many students. The star pupil, as Dr. Maida mentioned just now, is none other than Yang Berhormat Kapal Singh. Dearly loved by all Malaysians, not just in Penang, but as well as outside Penang. And I think he's an outstanding Malaysian, and of course, the most outstanding son from the Sikh community. And since this is the very place which Papa grew up, it's really appropriate that we celebrate his school, the extension and the expansion. The state government has also emphasized mother tongue education. Since we started annual allocations for vernacular schools, we have not forgotten Punjabi schools in Penang. And we have contributed to 3 Punjabi schools, one in Baru, Batuwa, and of course the school here. Contribution on a yearly basis, I think this year we have given 25,000 to Khalsa Dharmik School, 15,000 for the branch in Baru, and a further 25,000 for the school in Batuwa. A total of 65,000 ringgit this year. Now, even though there are only 70 students at the Khalsa Dharmik School and 38 at the Baru School, we will continue to give our annual allocations as a symbol of our commitment towards mother tongue education. Also, to refer to the President, Dr. Mahinda's request for the additional piece of land on the adjoining property. That piece of land was approved by the state government to be sold to the temple in 2009. And I think the temple was very happy when we conveyed to them the decision. But unfortunately, because the veterinary department is there, we have to get the consent of the veterinary department, which is a federal government agency. Kapal Jagdeep had looked at the law. And we can ask Dr. Mahinda, who's a lawyer, can also have a look at the law. And they have come to the conclusion that yes, since this is a federal government agency, you need to get their consent. And they have refused to give him the consent. So perhaps I'd like to suggest that the Sikh community in Penang, under the leadership of Dr. Mahinda, pursue the matter with the federal government. Ask the federal government to give consent. I'm not asking you for money, but just to give the consent so that the state can sell the land to the Sikh Gurdwara temple. After all, what better demonstration that you are committed to one Malaysia than to give approval for the sale to the Sikh community. Now, on Basaki Day in 2012, when I first attended the consecration or the commencement of the building works, I announced an initial donation of 50,000 ringgit. Today, I want to announce that the state government will further contribute a sum of 180,000 ringgit. This year and next year, to make a total contribution from the Chief Minister's office of 230,000 ringgit. This is not only for the Sikh community, but this is also to thank the Gurdwara for taking care of Kapal Singh when he was young. and bringing up an outstanding, courageous, and a man with integrity and with the love of all humanity. Thank you, my friends. I wish the committee and all six every success, and I hope that we can stand together for peace, stand together for equal opportunity, stand together to ensure that every Malaysian is entitled, it is not a privilege, but is entitled to basic education, including his mother tongue. And of course, once again, I'd like to end by again thanking the ladies, because I'm sure without the ladies, you won't be here. This building won't be here. Can I ask the ladies that it's time that you step forward? Important that you step forward, because we need the contributions of the ladies for this country to be great and strong. And not just, as I said, playing the traditional roles, but playing modern roles, including aspiring for the highest office, whether it is Menteri Besar or Chief Minister. There should be no discrimination, including no gender discrimination. I think this is what we want every Malaysian to declare, that a woman, not just a man, a woman has the right to aspire for the highest office: Chief Minister, Menteri Besar, Deputy Prime Minister, Prime Minister. And that is why we are making this declaration today, that every woman is qualified to hold or to aspire for the highest office. And I'm saying this as the Penang Chief Minister. This is the stand of the Penang State Government. Now, I want to thank the ladies for giving me this inspiration. Because when I saw the donors list, the biggest sum come from the ladies. Correct. Thank you once again.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Privilege of knowing the late Y.B. Kirpal Singh and Bibi Gurmeet Kaur and the family since my young days. The late Y.B. Kirpal Singh was a towering Malaysian born and bred in Penang. He is a legend known for his fight for justice and human rights in defending the defenseless. We are proud that he was a true blue Penang, brought up at 101 McCallum Street and subsequently spent his young days at the Sungai Penang area. Not only did he used to come to this Gurdwara, but so did his whole family. In fact, his father, Dharam Singh, was a senior Sikh known as a Tateda or chief. His elder brother, Sri Singh, is also a trustee of this Gurdwara. In fact, this Gurdwara was also the place where the late Y.B. Kirpal Singh met his beautiful wife, Bibi Gurmeet Kaur. And it was love at first sight. And ever since, she has proven the theory that behind every great man, there's a great woman. It was his dream to see a new building housing a school, library, computer lab being built for the Gurdwara. In fact, he announced and donated his initial contribution of 100,000 during the 2012 Usaki celebrations at this Gurdwara, whereby Y.B. Lim Kong Eng was also present. Now the family of the late Y.B. Kirpal Singh top up the final contribution to a total of 201,000. It is unfortunate that it is no longer with us, but we, the Sikh community, are extremely proud to show our mark of respect for the great man that the late Y.B. Kirpal Singh was by naming this computer cum library of the Khalsa Dharmik school at the Wadda Gurdwara Sahib in his memory. It is hoped that this school will produce many more Kirpals in the future. I also wish to make a humble request to the Chief Minister on behalf of the Sikh community of Penang to have the name of the road Jalan Gurdwara, which is in front of our Gurdwara, to include the Punjabi lettering on the road signboard to reflect the multicultural aspect of Penang. I am willing to help by supplying the wording in the Punjabi script. I hope in conclusion, we the Sikh community wish to thank Tuan Lim Kuan Eng, the Honourable Chief Minister of Penang, for officiating the opening ceremony for the late YB Kirpal Singh Memorial Hall. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
I'm very touched and moved that Kirpal will be remembered at a place where he grew up, with a memorial hall to mark his presence and of course what he meant to many of us. I'm sure we feel his spirit amongst us, and in that regard I think it's important that we complete or fulfill his hopes and aspirations, especially for Penang to be the leading state in Malaysia, a beacon of hope, an oasis of freedom, and of course, a sanctuary for peace and harmony. But most important of all, we must show that we can deliver prosperity for everyone. We must show that we can create an intelligent city. And we must show that when we call ourselves an international city, we have fulfilled international benchmarks. That's why I want to record our appreciation for this gesture, and also that the Penang State government will definitely consider the request made, and definitely we will ensure that diversity, inclusiveness, as well, of course, multicultural, not just tolerance but respect, will be our mainstay in Penang. I would like to end by offering our hopes for peace, and also to remember those who cruelly lost their lives on NH370 and NH17, to remember them, and also with the hope that the slaughter in Gaza will end. I think we want to see peace not only in our country and our state, but everywhere throughout the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I'd like to